A businesswoman was killed last night after gunmen broke into the home where she resided with her husband in Cumberland District in Spalding, Clarendon. The police said the husband reportedly fled during the incident and was not harmed. The deceased woman has been identified as 42-year-old Melissa Claire Wright. Police reports stated that at about 9:30 p.m., Wright and her husband were at home when gunmen broke into the dwelling. It is reported that the gunmen demanded money. Now, when their demands were not met, they reportedly shot Wright in the head. Her husband fled into bushes and was chased by the gunmen but not held. Police, who were summoned to the scene, rushed the businesswoman to the hospital where she was admitted but later died. In other news, between December 30, 2021 and April 22, 2022, the Jamaica Constabulary Force JCF issued 20,392 electronic tickets, of which 7,678 were paid, generating revenue of over $26 million. This was disclosed by the Minister of National Security and Deputy Prime Minister Dr. Horace Chang during his contribution to the 2022-23 sectoral debate in the House of Representatives yesterday. The pilot of the new electronic traffic ticket management system, TTMS, was launched on December 30, 2021 with 100 handheld devices. The minister noted that before the implementation of the new traffic ticketing system, there were up to 340,000 tickets within the court system that could not be accounted for. An electronic warrant feature to support the efficient use of the TTMS in the courts was also developed. Additional handheld devices will be procured this year to expand the pilot island-wide. Still tonight, exhaust emission analyzers will be incorporated into the operations of the Island Traffic Authority, ITA. The commissioning of the devices was done yesterday at the Harbourview Examination Depot in Kingston by Minister of Transport and Mining Audley Shaw. They are used to measure exhaust gases caused by combustion and give readings about their contents. Devices are to be dispatched to 9 examination depots across the island to begin the process of collecting data for analysis to inform policy. Mr. Shaw said the system is a critical step towards enhancing Jamaica's road safety program. The minister said these devices will further ensure analysis of motor vehicles, which will provide data necessary to guide policy decisions. He noted that the ministry and its agencies are increasing their efforts to incorporate the necessary mechanisms to create a safe environment on the nation's motorways. June is being observed as Road Safety Month under the theme Choose Life, Be Safe on the Road. Continuing with the news, Minister without portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, Matthew Samuda, is now in Stockholm, Sweden, representing Jamaica at 2 environmental meetings. The meetings run from June 1 to 3 and include the high-level segment of the Basel, Stockholm, and Rotterdam conventions and the Stockholm Plus 50 international meeting. Samuda contributed to the conversation during Leadership Dialogue 1, reflecting on the urgent need for actions to achieve a healthy planet and prosperity for all.
50 plus years, that's longer than I've been alive, longer than many of the persons in the room have been alive. And there are many achievements for which we should be proud. There is also the manifestation of many of our worst fears, so there is indeed much work to be done. I think hearing colleagues this afternoon, I think a way to summarize the discussions we've had is that indeed a sustainable economic growth cannot come from environmental degradation, and inclusive prosperity cannot be steeped in pollution. If we follow the Stockholm Plus 50 theme and we consider, well, what does a healthy planet really mean to us in this room, and what does it mean to our varying constituent groups? It's clean and accessible water, it's clean air so that our people don't face climate-induced respiratory illnesses, it's quality soil for our farmers, it's thriving biodiversity, and it's a healthy ocean. And that's a That's a whole lot to consider. What is this prosperity and how do we access it in a sustainable manner that keeps all of these dreams for a healthy planet alive? I mean, it's inclusive of opportunity for all of our people. It's our citizens living above the poverty line. It's access to modern goods and services without breaching our sustainability targets. Action must come from the multilateral process. It includes scaling up finance, it includes fixing the access issues, and it includes application harmonization amongst the donor agencies so that small island developing states can truly have a chance to access these funds for adaptation.
Ministers and high-level representatives from countries will discuss the strategic positioning of the BRS conventions to tackle the triple planetary environmental emergencies, namely biodiversity loss, climate change, and pollution.
That we must explore the interlinkages and look for enhanced synergies in the implementation of the multilateral processes and indeed the conventions that we are all signatories to. Jamaica, like all others here, want a healthy planet. We have enhanced our NDCs and we have committed to a 28.5% reduction in our emissions by 2030. We are moving towards our 30-30 targets for protected landmass and sea, and we are also midway in a 3 million tree planting initiative, one for each citizen for our small island. We also wish to close in saying that we supported the decisions of UNIA 5.2. We ask that we move very quickly with our INC, moving towards a global treaty to end plastic pollution. This target, the other targets that we've all discussed, are within reach, colleagues. It requires action, and be assured that Jamaica will play its part.
The 2022 high-level segment of the Basel, Rotterdam, and Stockholm Conventions is being held under the theme Global Agreements for a Healthy Planet, Sound Management of Chemicals and Waste. It addresses the sound management of hazardous chemicals and wastes at various stages of the chemical life cycle. We turn our attention now to tonight's COVID-19 update, where Jamaica reported 328 new cases of COVID-19 and 5 fatalities yesterday. This according to the latest statistics from the Ministry of Health and Wellness. This increases the total of COVID-19 cases since the start of the pandemic to 137,724 and the death toll to 3,069. The country also recorded 131 new recoveries, increasing the total of recoveries to 87,289, while there are 2,989 confirmed active cases on the island. Of the newly reported cases, there were 209 females and 119 males, ranging in age from 5 days to 91 years. In tonight's COVID-19 parish breakdown, Kingston and St. Andrew recorded 107 cases. St. Catherine recorded 82 cases. St. James, 62 cases. Clarendon, 18 cases. Westmoreland recorded 16 cases. St. Elizabeth recorded 14 cases. St. Anne and Trelawney, 10 cases. Manchester recorded 3 cases. Hanover and St. Thomas recorded 2 cases each, while St. Mary and Portland recorded 1 case each. Meanwhile, the latest deaths recorded in May 2022 include a 34-year-old male from St. Mary, an 87-year-old male from Westmoreland, and an 86-year-old female from St. Catherine. A 79-year-old male from St. Catherine, whose death was recorded in October 2021, and a 53-year-old female from Westmoreland, whose death was recorded in February 2022, were also among the latest deaths. One other death was listed as under investigation. Still making Mello TV news, the Amber Group Jamaica, one of the largest multinational technology firms, and the Heart NSTA Trust, with the unveiling of the Amber Heart Institute of Coding, is set to create history yet again. Here is Colleen May with the details.
The Amber Group Jamaica and the Heart NSTA Trust yesterday unveiled the Amber Heart Institute of Coding, where young people will be taught practical applications in software design and programming. During the launch event being held after a successful one-year pilot project involving 100 participants, the first cohort of graduates received their NCTVET certificates as well as employment offer letters for a number of well-reputed large companies in Jamaica. During the pilot project, youth from across the island were engaged in skills training in software programming operations at the Stony Hill Heart Academy. According to Prime Minister Andrew Holness, who gave the keynote address, the Amber Heart Trust Partnership is revolutionary.
First, I would like to commend the Amber Group and the Heart Trust NSTA for this revolutionary initiative. I say revolutionary because the Amber Heart Coding Academy has a number of very important characteristics that represent innovative thinking in training and development. First of all, this program represents alignment between education and industry. It is always a struggle in education because there is a prevailing perspective that one needs to have a kind of broad preparedness in education. So this is revolutionary in that we are putting the needs of the industry first. If we're serious about growth and development, we have to do more of this. So I'm very happy that this is being done and will probably be an example for other such partnerships.
Mr. Holness also pointed out the minimum requirements for persons who wish to join the program.
The second revolutionary thing about this training is that it is open and inclusive. There is a perspective that education ought to be elite and exclusive. Only the brightest should get the opportunity. And that there are some endeavors that don't require or should not get institutional attention. Now, all we require for you to participate in this program is that you have minimum mathematics, that you are literate, and that you demonstrate the aptitude and attitude for problem solving. We're not looking for rocket scientists and the most brilliant people by virtue of whatever kind of exams we use to measure brilliance. And that's how we have to create the education system, that we cater for everyone, regardless.
He further explained the value of public-private partnership in the development of the country.
The third element is that this is a public-private partnership. But more than that, it is a private-led partnership, in a sense, because the idea really originated with Duchamp, who then passed it on to members in my office, who then passed it on to Hart, and then Hart took a posture of saying, yes, our role is to support industry. It is not often that governments and agencies and departments think in this way. The fatal flaw of governments and departments and ministries is that they believe they exist to serve themselves. There is a transformation happening in Jamaica. And believe me, it is, you see the resistance every day to the changes that are happening. But the changes are for the best.
Mr. Holness said that the graduates represent a major part of the human capital of Jamaica.
These youngsters represent a part of the human capital of Jamaica. They're part of a new industry, and they're bringing in a new skill set. They will get employed. But I want you to consider that there might be multiples more of these youngsters who are not part of our human capital in the way that these youngsters are, meaning that they are trained and honed and enhanced. But they are potential. But they are just out there. Some of them are a dead weight on the society, in addition to the opportunity cost that we lose for not having them trained like this. And some of them are negatively contributing to the society. They are involved in crimes and deviance. The challenge for HEART and the education system generally, but for HEART specifically, is to figure out how to get these youngsters into a process of training to convert that deadweight loss and that opportunity cost into genuine benefits for the society.
Reporting for Mello TV News, I'm Colleen May.
Thank you, Colleen, for that report. Beginning June 5, 10,000 Jamaicans will be recruited to work on cruise ships overseas, says Minister of Tourism Edmund Bartlett. Mr. Bartlett, who was speaking to reporters following a function at the Montego Bay Convention Center recently, said the massive recruitment drive comes at a time when the cruise sector and tourism by extension are showing signs of growth and is a telling indicator that Jamaican workers are viewed positively on the global stage. The minister pointed out that recruiting will be handled by the operators of the cruise lines and Jamaicans only need to have a clean police record and a clean bill of health. Mr. Bartlett said that in recent discussions with cruise officials, it was noted Jamaica continues to be a first-choice country as it relates to hiring workers, adding that our work ethic and iconic stature are well known and will always give us that preferential edge anywhere in this region. And those are the stories making news. Thanks for watching. I am Shelley Hill. Do stay safe and pleasant viewing.